As soon as you feel like you can't learn something from somebody, you've lost.
But bringing people up to whatever their unique next level is, there's a reward and a value to that is immeasurable.
Reach your hand down and pull up the other men. If we all did that, Mike, the guys above us would be reaching down, pulling us up too. The world would be such a better place.
If you get what she's feeling, man, that goes a far, far, far way with her.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the TPM Show. This is going to be a special episode because I am joined by Coach Mike Brown. And today we're going to talk about a topic that comes up a lot within the community, but a lot with men outside in the men's work movement and things that happen. Mike, thanks for being here, man.
Thanks for having me, brother.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah. So for the guys that listened to the previous episodes, they might have an idea. We have a TAR happening. It's starting tonight. The men will arrive. We won't give away anything like that, but it's going to be Coach Steve, yourself, myself, and obviously we have Eric. So 9 guys coming, 4 of us ready for them. It's going to be epic.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm ready to go.
I know you are. I know you are. You're game ready all the time, though. So we were talking about this offline or before we started hitting record. There's this kind of idea that a lot of guys have. It could be around relationships, it could be around any kind of development, to me, is, hey, I'm at a different level, right? So I'm at this level and the guys behind me, they're not providing me any value. So I really want to be with the guys that are just above me.
Yeah.
Do you experience that with a lot of the men?
Yeah, I do experience that from time to time. I wouldn't say a lot of them, but it happens for sure.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that I try to do with the guys who are having that conversation is just to have them see, just to kind of go with them, say, okay, you're there, rather than arguing with them about it and say, no, you're not really there. I just say, okay, you're there and they're there, and that there's an opportunity for you, right, to bring them up, right? There's growth in that, and that's why I coach.
Yep.
Right? Because I guess I could say I'm on another level of everybody who comes in the group, but people are different levels, right? But bringing people up to whatever their unique next level is, there's a reward and a value to that is immeasurable. And I mean, that's why we coach, man.
100%. Well, so yeah, I have a similar conversation. I had this conversation actually this week, or this past weekend anyway. And I was just telling the guys, like, look, couple things. There are people that are further behind you in your journey, and you get to uplift them. But that's where mastery comes from, right? Is in the teaching. Like, if you think you know a subject, then try teaching it to a place where people can actually understand it. And that's how you know you've mastered it. And there's also an element for me, Mike, of just staying in the conversation of whatever that conversation may be. And you have that development. Yes, surround yourself with people that are in the same level and maybe in the level ahead of you. But you need all 3 of those, in my experience, to really master a subject and really get good at it.
I agree with you. I mean, that's literally happening to me, like with you. Obviously, you've done a ton of these TARs, right?
Yep.
And I'm doing like my second one.
Yeah.
And so I'm learning from you. Like, I'm looking at you and I'm figuring out how to do that, and you're lifting me up in that way. So I think there's no end to that. As long as you're breathing, or I should say for myself, as long as I'm breathing, I'm alive. That's the game I'm playing. Yeah. Like, what's the next level? What's the next? And to me, when I say level, because I really want to be really clear about this, because I think this is where people get caught up with this level thing. They're like, oh, like you're on a high level. I think the levels really are just like freedom, power, and self-expression, right? And just when I think I'm very powerful and I'm very free and I'm very expressed, and then I come, like when I came and I did the TAR last time as a participant, and I played that game, I said, you know what? I'm here to go to the next level of freedom, power, and self-expression. And I went to another level of that. But it doesn't mean like now I'm above everybody else. It was just another level of freedom, another level of power. And I think that, in my opinion, every human being has access to that or not. You don't have to do that. Not everybody plays that game. Not everybody wants to get to that. I think at their core, everybody does want that,
Yeah.
but not everybody is going to do what's required for that to occur.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I think as soon as you feel like you can't learn something from somebody, you've lost, right? I go into every situation. There's some areas of business that I feel I'm an expert in, yet I learn stuff from people that are way behind the road that I've been on because I've been doing it for so long. And I'm like, oh crap, that's a good idea. Or, oh, that reminds me of something else. And you can gain something from anybody. We were just in here talking earlier off the camera about business ideas. And I go, you know what? I've gotten the best business ideas in my entire life from other industries, right? So that cross-pollination. And the same thing could do with personal development. If I go in and I'm leading this, we'll be, all three of us are leading this TAR coming up. We'll be doing this alpha reset with these men. There's not an alpha reset where I don't learn something new, right? And I've done, as you said, I've done more than anybody. And still at the same time, I'm always learning or remembering like, oh crap, I'm still doing that thing, or, oh geez. And all the coaches, we have amazing coaches like yourself, as you know, from all over the world. And every single one of us always talk. We kind of joke, like, as you're doing this, you're just like, oh crap, you know what? I stopped doing that with my wife or my kids or for myself,
Yeah.
And you really keep growing. And if I were to come in to this situation with a mind that I know everything, I'd miss that opportunity.
Yeah, 100%. And, I think what that takes right there, and you definitely have this, like, this is a trait. I was telling you this the other day that I always look at leaders, right? When people that are leading, and I mean, in a sense, we're all leading, right?
Yeah.
But I'm always looking at leaders, and I even told this to you about yourself, is that I love the way Doug leads. I love the way you lead. And sometimes when I'm looking at that, I'm saying, what is it? Like, what is it? And I think there's an element of it that you just pointed out right there. And it's humility, man. Because if you can't look at people that you think that you're ahead of, I've even done that myself, like, oh, I'm ahead of you. There's no way you could show me anything. But if I can't look at everybody and learn something from them, then I think that's a piece of growth that will stop right there. It just stops. Because like, well, I'm here and you're there. So it's a block.
Yeah. We all have that, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to pretend like it never comes up for me. But then what comes up for me is like, oh, maybe my lesson here is humbleness, or, getting over my own ego. Dude, I've had so many times, and it happens the most when I'm talking to people about marketing, right? I've just done marketing for so many companies. Used to have an agency way back in the day. I run TPM's marketing, as you know. And so I'll talk to somebody that just started out, and they'll start to tell me something about marketing. And in my head, I go, oh, I already know all this, because they're going to tell me something basic. And there's been times when I haven't interrupted them. I've just sat back and listened, honestly, waiting for it to be over. When they take the conversation a different direction, I learn something new. Like, oh, shoot, I didn't know that. What an ass. That had all these prejudgments and other things that have come up. And here I am. I've just learned something new, a new nugget.
Yeah.
It's a human condition, right? We're all human. We're all on this journey doing the best we can. I truly believe that. And so to the men that are ahead, I heard this is a great thing. I think it's great. We switched over to the new TPM app, and some of the old guard, if you will, had some complaints, and a couple guys said publicly, yeah, but I'm hearing the same questions, and I'm kind of above and beyond that. And one of the guys stepped in and said, what the heck? Somebody was there for me to help me out. It's my duty to help the brother behind me, and lift him up.
Yeah.
And I looked at that guy, I go, that guy's a friggin' lighthouse.
Oh yeah.
Like, he gets it.
Oh yeah. And I think going back to what you were saying earlier too, it's just, because some of this stuff I've done a million times.
Yeah.
And when I get at that for myself, I think that thing that you said about the reminder, like sometimes it's just a reminder. Even my own kids, right? My son or my daughter, they'll remind me of something, or they'll say something to me that it kind of like, it brings me back down. I don't know if I ever shared this with you. I do this thing with my kids. And part of this I learned from you, because I remember when I was watching one of your podcasts before, you said, kids don't do what you say. They do what you do. Monkey see, monkey do, right?
Yeah.
And so like it has me super mindful of and my son is a mirror, man. So like whatever energetically I do with him, if I start raising my voice, he instantly, right in the moment, he's screaming at me. He'll take it up. I'll do it a little bit, and then he's doing it like 10 times higher. And then I'm like, okay, take a breath, slow down, and like bring it back down. And then he'll just say to me, because I have my kids call me out, and they'll say, Daddy, you're being mean to me. And I say, okay, I'm being mean to you. So I said, I'm going to bring my tone back down. How's this? Is this a little better? So I let them adjust me.
Yeah.
And that's tough sometimes, Doug, to hear your 9-year-old son or your 11-year-old daughter adjust you down. And I take a breath, say, okay, I'm going to bring my energy down. I'm bringing it down here. And then they start doing that with me, and I learned part of that from you. Like, so then they do that with me, and I say, hey, you're being mean to me now. Like, you're getting loud with me. I say, oh, I'm sorry, Daddy. I'll bring my energy down. And they're doing it because I did it, not because I told them to not do it, right?
Yeah. You're teaching them how to self-regulate, how to down-regulate. What a life skill that's going to be for them if that just becomes, and speak their truth.
Yes.
Because, I think as men, we forget. Imagine a 20-foot tall man yelling at you right now.
Right.
I'd be scared shitless, man.
Right.
And so our size differential to our children, that's what it's like for them. And so when we raise our voice, and I do it too, right? I think we all do. I'm going to guess that most of the guys listening to this do.
Yeah.
That, just imagine, that's when someone told me that, or I read it, I was like, holy crap. If there was a 20-foot dude here that was yelling at me, I'd be intimidated.
100%, dude. I want to share a story with you about that because I so actively teach them this. And one of my most important things for my kids to get is when I'm not around, when I'm not here, because I can't always be there.
Yeah.
How are you going to deal with it? How are you going to handle with it when these sort of things happen? I had this experience. We went on a cruise, right? And we're on one of these cruises, and my daughter wants to go get ice cream. She's 11. We're sitting in the dining area. The ice cream's it's around the corner. So she's like, can I go get ice cream by myself? I was like, okay, yep, but come right back, So I'll let them have these little experiences where they can have a little independence. Go get the ice cream. She goes get the ice cream. She comes back, and she's like, Daddy, there's this man over there, and I was standing and waiting in line, and he walked up to me, and he said, hey, you're blocking the way. You better get out of the way. And she said, I turned around, and I looked at him and said, hey, you can't talk to me like that. Don't speak to me that way. And when she told me this, I said, wait, I started getting triggered, right? I said,
I want to buy you a gift. Look, if your marriage is struggling, and let's be real, every marriage struggles at some point, but yours is struggling where you've lost that love, admiration, respect, I want to help you. I want to buy you a copy of the book that I wrote, A Man's Guide on How to Save Your Marriage Without Talking About It. In here, I've distilled over 8 years of programs that we've developed at TPM to help men just like you save their marriages without talking about it. There's no fluff, no BS. It's an action plan that you can start using today to actually save your marriage and bring that love and respect back into your family, back into your house. You deserve it. Look, all I ask is you pay the postage, you pay the shipping, I'll buy the book for you. That way you can take massive action today. Click the link or find it in the bio and get your copy now.
wow, that's awesome that you did that, honey. That's great. Now, where's this guy, right? Where's the guy at? So the guy's walking, and she points to this guy's huge, Doug.
Yeah.
The guy was like 6'5". He's probably like 2'4". I mean, and then I got even more angry because he was so big, and my daughter's like an 11-year-old, and I said, him right there? And she said, yeah, him. I said, you know what? I think I'm going to go talk to him right now. And you know what she said to me? She said, no, Daddy, I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think you should talk to him. And I took a breath and I said, you know what? I think maybe you're right. Maybe it's not a good idea if I talk to him, because I don't know how that, because I was triggered, and I was like,
sure, I get it.
I wanted to go say, hey man, what were you doing?
Yeah.
But then I was able to kind of get off of my own trigger and say, you know what, honey? I'm so proud that you did that.
Yeah, man.
And that you stood up for yourself. And then I looped it back and I said, this is why I tell you, I always want you to be able to speak for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I always want you to be able to correct me. If you can correct me, if you can adjust me, you can adjust your grandma, your mom. And she said, yeah, but they're not going to like that. I said, it doesn't matter whether they like it or not. It's you standing up and speaking for yourself, because I think so many things happen with kids because they've learned, back in our day, you just learn, you never say anything back to an adult. Yeah. This is how kids get abused, man.
Yes.
So that was like a huge win when that happened, man.
And that all starts, bringing this back. I love this story, by the way. I love that your daughter did that. And that's what I want for my daughter as well, and my son.
Yeah.
I think all of us guys, dads want that.
Totally.
And then that starts again with, if you would have taken this approach of you were too far ahead of the journey of your daughter not to teach her.
Right.
And she comes back and teaches you again, or helps you recall.
Yep.
A lot of times we need more reps to learn deep lessons. All right. We need to hear it many, many times. In marketing, they'll say you need to repeat. Someone needs to hear something 7 or 10 times. There's different numbers I've seen.
Yep.
But us as men, we're learning new skills in relationships and communication. The hidden motives technique, when you first learn that, it's so funny to watch the guys when they first learn it. It's like they're like robots,
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Totally.
And you get to practice more and more. And this is another thing I'm thinking about, because I'm thinking about a guy that I was talking to this weekend about going back. I'm like, hey man, I want you to show up more in the general channel on the app, And I remember this guy at one point telling me, dude, you do this, it's so easy for you. Like you just spit it off right at a situation. Someone gives you a situation like hidden motives. You give an example and you give like the best response. How do you think I did that? I did that by teaching this to guys like you over and over and over again. Reps. You can too, but you can't do that. I didn't tell him this, but you can't do that if you're not actually practicing.
Yep.
You don't, I did Brazilian jiu-jitsu a little bit. It's a friend of mine because I'm going to start taking my son. You don't just go one time, learn a move, and then go, cool, got it. No problem.
No.
You get crushed. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I don't know if you ever tried it, but
no.
Geez, you try a move 100 times, I still get crushed. Mm-hmm. And so we get to also, and martial arts, the black belts train with the white belts, and at least in the place that I've trained. And they keep doing that. Is it easy for them? Yeah, it's a lot easier for them. But they get something out of it. And me as the white belt in this analogy, because I remember when I've trained with black belts, I get a ton out of it. One is just to realize there's different levels to this game, right? And that's inspiring to me.
Totally.
And they get something out of it too, which is, for me, it's just they've got a human body that can just do whatever they want to. Mm-hmm. And same thing for the men. If you're going through guys who listen to this, if they might be in an activation method right now, or they might be in another program with a different company, it doesn't matter. Reach your hand down and pull up the other men. If we all did that, Mike, the guys above us would be reaching down, pulling us up too. The world would be such a better place.
Oh, totally. Totally. And, I wanted to touch on something you were talking about with the reps. This is something I teach. When I'm doing TAM, I use that rep analogy big time, especially with hidden motives.
Yeah.
And so with guys, I just had this in one of the groups I was talking to, say, hey, I started doing that. My wife's like, what are you doing? Or like, you're like a robot and all this sort of stuff, right? And I told them, I went back to that analogy. I said, hey guys, did any of you play baseball, basketball, football? Most guys have played some sport, or I think I had a guy in there, he was a sales guy. You're a sales guy. So there's a time you did it the first time. There's a first time you threw a basketball. There's a first time you swung a bat. And I guarantee you, when you swung that bat, it was awkward. It didn't feel natural. You were robotic. It probably looked terrible. You probably didn't hit the ball to maybe the 50th swing. This happens. And so I want you to think of hidden motives like reps.
Yes.
And so I told him, I said, this is going to happen. Now, what's going to happen is your wife's going to come to you and she's going to say this. This happens all the time. She's going to say, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? That's weird. That's not you. You're like a robot. And you can just tell her what it is. Say, hey, you don't have to, some guys don't like to say they're doing the program. It's fine if you don't want to say that. But you can say, hey, I'm learning how to become a better listener. I'm learning this skill. And I'm practicing doing that with you. And I'm stumbling through it.
Yeah.
And I'm not perfect at it, but I'm going to get better at it because I'm committed to listening to you and becoming a better listener. I said, I can almost promise you that 99.9%, now there's always that 1%, but 99% of most women they're not going to keep throwing darts at you after that. If you just say what you're doing and keep doing it, they'll have grace for you if they know where you're going with that.
100%. I mean, basically you're telling, hey babe, I love you so much. I'm learning to speak and listen in a different way so that we can have a better marriage and that so we can all both be happier and get along better. What woman's go, nah, I don't I don't like that. I mean, some probably, but again, that could be a safety test, right?
Yeah.
You get to laugh at yourself and enjoy the ride. And this is exactly, I mean, I don't know this for a fact, but you see guys like Gary. I know you know what I'm talking about. He's sat on this couch in the exact place you are with his beautiful woman, Heather. Gary is constantly in the app responding to guys. He's been the brother's brother. He's won awards with Inside TPM given by the other men, and he still answers tons of questions. I can guarantee you, although it might not be the reason Gary does it, the more questions he answers, the better his relationship with Heather, his partner, becomes. Because it becomes more ingrained with him. He's in the conversation. It's like Spanish, man. I took Spanish for 5 years. Do you think I can speak Spanish now because I haven't practiced in 20 some years? Yeah. No, I lost it. Yeah. But had I practiced Spanish every day or a couple times a week, I'd be fluent.
Yeah.
And if men are listening to this and they want to be fluent in the area of relationships, then be in the conversation of relationships.
Yeah. Be
in the conversation, talking to other men, guys that are further down the path, like Coach Mike, or guys that are further behind, maybe just stumbling. They're barely saying hola, and just help them out a little bit because you'll help you with your pronunciation and your practice.
Yeah.
And do it humbly, like you're just chuckling a little bit, because I think if you do it humbly and you laugh a little bit at yourself and the situation, it makes it easier.
Oh, totally. And, going back to the hidden motives thing. And I feel like you said this one time on a podcast before, but I've had this exact experience because like I'm trained, and I tell the guys this when I'm in TAM with them, I'm trained to listen. Yeah. Like I've taken tons of stuff and like, I'm a trained listener. My wife's a coach.
Yeah.
So she's trained to listen. I mean, this is a unique, and you probably have this with your wife. And so my wife can say something, Doug. I could repeat it back almost verbatim. And I say, did I get that? She said, nope. You didn't get it all. Like, well, I just repeated exactly what you just said. How did I not get it? Because you're not getting what I'm feeling. I always share this in TAM because I want them to get. Yeah. It's not just about being a parakeet and repeating back what she's saying. If you get what she's feeling, man, that goes a far, far, far way with her. So I even have that experience sometimes where I know I'm listening to her and I'm like, no, I'm right. I know I heard you because I can say everything that you said. And then you get to be right, but your wife's over there not happy because you're not really, really hearing her.
Well, I didn't get it, man. When I was going through my stuff, I took classes on listening, not the same ones you've taken, obviously, at that time. And so I was like, okay, effective listening, how to do it properly. Oh, so what I'm hearing you say is, then repeat after what they say. And my wife's like, no, that's not it.
Yep.
No, okay, I'll do active listening now. So what I'm hearing you say is repeat the words. No, like I just didn't get, and that's when the hidden motives technique was taken out of validation and a bunch of other methodologies put together. And now my wife's like, yes, exactly. And you have to have some empathy. Like, what would it be like in that situation? Like, if I thought my husband didn't care about the house and thought I was going to be basically his maid, I'd be pissed, man. If my wife tried to treat me like a maid, it's not happening. I'm like, ooh, if she feels that, she's pissed. Now I get why she's mad. Then I go, you know what, babe? I never want you to feel this way. And all of a sudden, defense is down. She feels seen, heard, and then we can move to desired.
I use that one. I learned that from you, by the way. But I use that one, especially when I'm in situations like that where she, I'm not listening. Then you just start saying, I can imagine you feel, and then really get into imagining what she might be feeling, and then just say what that is. And that works really well. That's just one of those things to remember and use.
Yeah. Oh, I tell the guys to write it down, put it in your phone, write down a postcard, pull it out of your pocket if you have to. Practice with everybody. You work until you get it down. Don't always use I imagine. That's mine. I use that.
Right.
We got to mix it up, boys. Because otherwise she's going to catch on really quickly. And then if she does, I thought what you said earlier is brilliant. Just admit it. Like, hey, I'm learning a new skill to better our marriage, babe.
Yep.
And, I can't imagine she's going to have a problem with it.
Oh, I think she'll be good.
Well, brother, I really appreciate all that you bring to the table, man. You have a wealth of knowledge and experience. And most important to me, just a gigantic heart that you bring to all the men. And I just can't thank you enough for all you do for the movement.
You're welcome, man. Thank you for everything you do, brother.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Well, we got 9 great guys showing up here in a little bit, and we'll take them to the other side and get them through the alpha reset, and life will never be the same.
That's right. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Right. Gentlemen, listen to what Coach Mike had to say. I thought his delivery was absolutely phenomenal. If you guys are trying some of the new stuff, whether you're in our programs or you're listening to the over 1,000 episodes we've done, we don't gatekeep anything. It's all here, right? We've given it all away for free. If you want to go back, listen to the 1,000 episodes, you can, and please do. Or you can join the activation method, which is a program you can go through with Coach Mike or Coach Steve, who was here previously, and actually have a methodology to walk you through. But what Coach Mike said is if you're practicing and you're stumbling, just call it out. Your wife's not going to have a problem with it. She shouldn't. And if she does, it's just that she doesn't feel safe enough to actually do it with you. And then that's a good sign for you. Now safety is your next step, providing emotional safety within the home. And look, I know I've been where you are. I know you want your wife to feel safe. You just need the tools to learn how to do it. And by getting the tools, you also get to use them and practice them and yield them in a good way. As I always say in the Moment Insight, take massive action. We'll see you next time on the TPM Show.